On this video, I would like to do a brief Greek grammar summary, basically New Testament Greek grammatical summary. Let's begin with the alphabet, but before doing that, I want to say for anyone that might be interested in following my basic grammar summary, I would refer one to a work out on Google Books called the Christological Greek Grammar, the sevenfold work of Christ and his finished redemption in the covenant, under my name, Dr. Gary Stats. We also have a brief introductory Greek grammar, along with looking at some classic passages. But I would start with the first part of that, and this is on, I believe, page 2, or at least right up at the front is where you would find it, around page 2 or page 4 of that work. Let me just say this. My brief grammar can be studied as suggested through the text to gain a basic understanding of Greek grammar from a deductive point of view. And the book that has helped me when I first started Greek a lot, many years ago, I'm 81 now, I was 18 then, was Gresham Machen, New Testament Greek for Beginners. And I would like to refer one to that in addition to my brief summary. And I give that brief summary at the beginning of a work that we had done, as I say, entitled The Christological Greek Grammar, the Sevenfold Work of Christ and His Finished Redemption in the Covenant. I have it at the first part of that study, and it can be found on Google Books. Let me begin with the Greek alphabet. By the way, if anyone's interested, we've done the same thing in Hebrew with Hebrew grammar, and it's already been put out. For that, you would use Wingreen. That is the book that I personally used in my own teaching. There are many grammars out there, but those two works, Machen and Wingreen, have meant a lot to me personally. So we begin the alphabet with alpha, beta, which could be transliterated as a B, alpha as an A, gamma as a G, transliterated, delta as a D, epsilon, transliterated as an E, zeta, and I used the Z to try to capture the transliteration, eta as a long E with a macron over it, theta, the TH, the next letter, iota, Y, transliterated, kappa, K, lambda, L, mu, transliterated an M, nu, transliterated an N, Xi, like an X by way of transliteration, omicron, an O, P, a regular P in transliteration, rho, an R, sigma, an S, upsilon, a U, phi, a PH transliteration, chi, a CH, psi, a PS, and omega, an O with a long macron accent over it. On the text that I am using, I have that on page 6. It may be at another page, but it's at the beginning of that work. Let's go next to the article. The Greek article. We'll look at the masculine, declining it, then the feminine, and then the neuter. In Greek, we have your nominative case, which is your subject, genitive, which is your case of possession, like the book of John. John is the one that owns the book. Dative is like an indirect object. He gave the book to John. Accusative is the direct object. I saw the book. It's the direct object of the verb. You have masculine and you have feminine and neuter in the article, and you have plural. And so I'm going to go through the masculine article and decline it in the nominative, genitive, dative, and accusative. So the masculine singular would be ha, tu, to, ton. Ha is nominative, tu is genitive, to is dative or locative, depending on how one has been taught, and ton is accusative. And then the plural is nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, hoi, ton, tois, tus. So ha, tu, to, ton, hoi, ton, tois, tus. Then we go to the feminine, which has a he. And let me just talk through it briefly. Nominative, genitive, dative, and accusative of your singular and plural. He, tes, te, tain. Hi, tone, tais, tas. And that again, like I said, could be followed on the beginning of the work that I suggested. It's good to try to put this to memory. I know in today's world, one will say, well, Gary, why do I need to do that? All I can do is just go to the internet and type it in. Well, that's true. But I think by internalizing, it becomes in your, you own it. It's part of you. At least that's the way we were trained. Today, I don't think that happens a lot, but we were to memorize everything. And I still think it's important, for me anyway, when I encourage people learning Greek or Hebrew. The neuter is ta, tu, to, ta, tau, omicron, and ta, tone, tois, ta. And here we have a tau and an alpha in the plural, a tau and an omicron in the singular. That's the neuter, and we're doing masculine, feminine, and neuter. So let me just go through it, starting with the masculine. Ha, tu, to, ton. Hoi, ton, tois, tus. Feminine, he, tes, te, tain. Hi, tone, tais, tas. And neuter, ta, tu, to, ta, ta with the alpha, tone, tois, and ta. If you learn the declension of the article, it will help you immensely when you're reading Biblical Greek or New Testament Greek. They're easily recognized. So by learning the article, the noun and the adjective declensions can be easily recognized. That would be the first step after the alphabet, I believe. Then let me talk basically about case, number, and gender. In Greek, we have what is called case: nominative, genitive, dative, accusative. Nominative is the subject of a sentence. If you wanted to say the word was preached, the word would be the nominative in Greek. Ha, logos, was preached. Genitive is possession, the case of possession. The book of John. or the word of God, which would be ha logos to theou, the word of God. Dative is the case of indirect object. He spoke the word to the man. The word is the direct object. To the man is the indirect object. So he spoke the word to the man. An accusative is the direct object of the verb. He gave the gift to us. And so the gift would be the direct object of he gave. So he gave the gift to us. Furthermore, in Greek, you have number either singular or plural. Singular or plural. Learning the article, you see that, the singular and the plural. Gender looks at whether it's masculine, feminine, or neuter. In Greek, you have those three genders, masculine, feminine, or neuter. Now, just to try to bring this to a sort of a summary, let me do the basic way of what we call declension, of declining, where a noun falls out from one form to the other, whether it's genitive, dative, or accusative. Declining meaning to fall down or to fall out. Let me look at the second declension, which in Greek is the masculine. So we start with nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, singular and plural. And I'm going to give the article along with the noun. So ha logos would be the word. To lagu would be of the word. To lago would be to or for the word. And ton lagon would mean the word, would be the accusative or the direct object. Plural, hoi lagoi would be the words. Ton lagon would be of the words, genitive plural. Tois lagos would be to or for the words, and he spoke the words. Tous lagus would be the words. Again, the definite article will guide you in determining whether it's a nominative, genitive, dative, or accusative. So learn the article, ha, tu, to, ton, and so forth. So let me just go through the masculine second declension. Ha lagos, tu lagu, to lago, ton lagon. Nominative plural, hoi lagoi. Genitive, ton lagon. Dative, tois lagus. And accusative, tous lagus. Now this is called the second declension, the masculine noun, and the way it's declined. Let me look now just briefly at the feminine, and it prefers the ada. And so we're going to use the article he arche, and arche means beginning. That would be the nominative, the beginning. Tes arches, of the beginning. Te arche, to or for the beginning, and tain archein would be the beginning. He saw the beginning. Nominative plural, chi archai, the beginnings, ton archon, of the beginnings, and the dative would be tais archais, to or for the beginnings, and the accusative would be tas archas, the beginnings. And I think I'm going to stop there. Let me just go through it with me. He arche, tes arches, te arche, tain, arcane. And then nominative through accusative, kai, archai, ton, archon, tais, archais, and tas, archas. And so it's good to try to memorize that. Maybe I will do one more and stop. That will be neuter. That is an object or a thing. And if we use the article, he'aran would be temple. I remember when I first learned Greek, the professor said, think of a hit and run. He'aran, a hit and run in a ball game. He'aran, like if you hit and then you run to first base, and you might get a hit and run if someone then comes to home base, something like that. So let me just go through the ta, tu, to, ta. Ta, tau, alpha, tone, tais, tas, or ta. So it would be ta he'aran, the temple, tu he'aru, of the temple, to he'aro, to or for the temple, and ta he'aran, the temple. And then in the plural, ta he'ara, with the alpha ending, and ton he'aron, tais he'arois, and ta he'ara. So that would be ta he'aran would be nominative, the temple. Tu he'aru would be of the temple. To he'aro would be to or for the temple, and ta he'aran would be the temple. Notice ta and on is both nominative and accusative. Same. The context has to tell us whether we're looking at a nominative or an accusative. And then in the plural, ta he'ara, the temples, ton he'aron, of the temples, tois he'arois, to or for the temples, and ta he'ara, the temples again. He saw the temples, accusative, or the temples are beautiful, nominative. So ta he'aran, tu he'aru, to he'aro, and ta he'aran, nominative and accusative, and tau alpha, ta he'ara, ton he'aron, tois he'arois, and ta he'ara, the temples. Notice the nominative, as I said, and accusative forms in the neuter have the same endings. Also, both nouns and adjectives will be declined by these endings. So let me stop there. I think it's important to learn the first and second declension, that is the feminine, or let me say second and first, the masculine and feminine declension. And then the next lesson or the next review will go to the third declension nouns, which differs from first and second. Start with the alphabet, master it, and then go on from there. The other approach will be to start reading right away, but I would couple my inductive reading with the deductive analysis and memory in my own thinking of these forms.